Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today TV. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the latest cues from the D Street, starting from the benchmark index move, the sectoral action, and all the stocks that are buzzing in trade, and also where are experts really keeping their focus and what are they recommending as strategies to investors. All of that coming up. But first up, a quick check on how the markets are doing at this point in time. Remember, yesterday, after that flat closing, markets still look subdued with just about a 0.06% uptick on the Nifty. It's hovering just about 10 points higher in trade today, 18,276. The Sensex also up just about 50 odd points at 61,809 in the current session. Now, when we look at the other indications, starting from the sectoral indices and the broader markets, you are seeing a mixed reaction there as well as far as the sectoral moves are concerned, especially when we talk about the Nifty Bank. That's absolutely flat in trade, with financial services flat, the private banks also flat, but the continuous drag on the PSU banking space for the second day in a row. We've been seeing 1.5% cut for that one, so that is continuously putting the lid as far as the market upside is concerned. Apart from this, we are also seeing declines coming in on the IT pack. Metals are also losing some bit of their sheen. Pharma stocks slightly dragging in trade as well. Healthcare stocks down in trade as well. But what's really keeping the markets afloat? FMCG stocks still holding up, 0.4% up in trade. Realty stocks slightly up in trade as well. The top gainers at this point in time include some of the stocks from the banking space, including the IndusInd Bank, Bandhan Bank, Federal Bank. These private sector banks are definitely taking, to good stride the kind of move that we are looking into the markets, about 0.5% to 2.5% uptick right now. Apart from this, there are other stocks also that are moving up in trade, including Axis Bank as well. On the other side, as far as the losers are concerned, you do see some losses coming in on Dr. Reddy's, on Eicher Motors, UPL continuously in the selling spree as well, 1.8% down even today. L&T, Infosys, Cipla, the other laggards at this point in time, but the market breadth clearly remains weak in today's trading action. Let's get views from our expert today. Mr. Vineet Bolinchkar joins in from Ventura Securities. He's the head of retail research there. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. Overall, how are you looking at the entire market trade setup right now? We've been seeing some volatility over the last 2 or 3 odd trading sessions, right after we were seeing that perhaps the markets are building on for the next leg of the rally. What do you really feel about the market texture?
So, market has just taken a breather after a massive rally. We've seen it rally from 16,700 levels to 18,200. That's about 1,500 points. Very, very strong recovery. And, market is just digesting these gains. Typically, the month of May is a relatively a soft month, especially up till the 15th to 17th of the month. So, we are expecting this seasonality to play out. And post that, I believe that the market should start moving up as the signs of a monsoon data starts trickling in. We are bullish on the FMCG space, domestic manufacturing, to a certain extent, export stocks, although we are refraining from staying in IT stocks.
Yeah.
And we also like selectively the metals pack.
Right. Okay, Mr. Bolinchkar, you did talk about FMCG space, and that's the one that is keeping the markets afloat today. But, the earnings, as far as we speak about that have been mixed. I mean, like Dabur stuck out as a sore thumb. Although Marico did report good numbers, we did see a sharp reaction on Marico as well. How are you looking at this basket from the earnings perspective, and what does it augur going forward from here? And which are the top stocks from this basket for you?
So, Dabur is a outlier in the sense that they're struggling with getting their business model right. Apart from Dabur, we believe that Marico is doing really well. We believe that Hindustan Unilevers and Nestle will also do really well. Nestle is one of our top picks, and especially we like the QSR chain. We like Varun Beverages, and we also like the food packaging companies which are export plays. So these are some of the sectors that we think in the FMCG space will continue to do well.
Correct. All eyes are right now on the aviation space as well. We've got this big order from the NCLT where they've extended relief to Go First, admitted their insolvency plea right now as well. I will come to you for the reaction, but first let me go across to my colleague Karishma Sudani, who's been tracking all the developments at the court. She's also managed to speak to the management of Go First after the order was passed as well. Karishma, what are the key things that you've heard from the management, the details that have come from the NCLT? Anything further in the details that we should know?
Absolutely right, Sakshi. In fact, the first word has come in from GoFirst CEO to us on Business Today Television, and this is the plan of action that they are right now on. In fact, with the resolution professional being appointed, the management, along with the RP, will now look into the refund process and resumptions of its flights. Until now, they have, of course, suspended flights until May 19th. But if the RP is able to draw a plan of action, with the help of course, creditors and lessors, who are the key intermediaries in this process, then it looks likely and positive that Go Air could actually take back its wings soon. Now, the legal process is similar to the way that it has panned out with the Jet Airways, but the only big issue that we see here is, and that has to be questioned, is NCLT again going against one of the international conventions in terms of granting this moratorium to an airline, and not and kind of not hearing the view and say of lessors. As we know, the lessors were keen to take back their aircraft, so almost 26 in number, and following the latest developments, in fact, certain competitive airlines like Air India and Indigo were also eyeing to take certain assets of Go First, which could be used. So again, not a situation that's completely out, but more of an equilibrium where I think in the coming days, IRP's plan of action will give us some more details.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Karishma, for all those updates as well. Currently, it seems to be a big relief for Go First, as the NCLT has admitted the plea. All eyes will be on IRP as to what kind of resolution do they really look at. Currently, the current management of Go First stands cancelled. The NCLT in the order has said that none of the employees will let go of. But the big question is again that whether Go First will fly again after May 19th, and what will help it take back to the skies. Will the lesser support, of course there is a moratorium which exists, but will the moratorium also cover DGCA, and what really happens if the lessors also take to the courts, because the NCLT is going against the international convention here. Mr. Bolinchkar, your own thoughts on how the things have panned out so far, and does it really look like Go First is likely to be somewhat in a better situation than the erstwhile cases of Jet Airways or Kingfisher Airlines?
So it's a very suspended death kind of sentence, and we will have to see how it plays out, what roles each of the regulatory bodies play, and how they are able to, you know, attempt to revive this airline. But in light of this fact, already the capacity in the Indian airline space, given the demand, screaming demand, is kind of good news for the other airline stocks, notably Interglobe Aviation. We believe that this company should do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, along with these, Tatas are also going to be gainers along with Akas. Uh, Unfortunately, SpiceJet, which already is operating at two-third capacity, they've got 76 planes with 26 have been not functional, and they have to
Correct.
let go of another three assets. So it doesn't augur well for SpiceJet where they can benefit from this. But definitely the demand is so strong that pricing will be firm. And if you add to this the falling uh, fuel rates, I think it should mean good music for the airline stocks, notably Interglobe Aviation.
So at this point in time, would you advise investors to keep an eye and constantly look at buying opportunities in any kind of dips for Indigo?
Yes, absolutely, because this kind of situation is not going to ease out very soon, and so I think the short to medium term is looking very very rosy for Interglobe Aviation.
Any particular targets that you may have in your mind as far as Indigo stock is concerned?
Uh, so we do not have active coverage on the stock, and so
Okay.
I refrain from giving any targets. But definitely, the story looks very, very promising.
Right. Now we've discussed FMCG and we've discussed the aviation. Apart from this, we're almost approaching the end of the earnings season. Any particular other sector that is perhaps coming on top of your radar, and looking at the kind of macros that they are shaping going forward from here, any particular theme that you may be tracking at now?
So we like construction stocks. They are, they've been ignored for very long. Infrastructure spend has been very, very strong. and with the health of the real estate companies as well as the developers, infra developers also getting better, I believe that these companies will do very well, especially given the fact that it's an election year and the government is going pressing the pedal on accelerating timelines for completion. So I believe that construction stocks which are available fairly cheap, and they have got multiple year orders, augur well for a inclusion in your asset allocation.
Got that as well. We've also been seeing the return of FIIs into the markets. I mean, about a month ago or two, we were seeing that, there was an almost a drought in the markets. FIIs wanted to sell, everybody wanted to go after China, but things have started to improve. What will it take for the FIIs to stay put and constantly pour in money in the Indian markets now?
See, they tried to diversify from the Indian markets and get into China, but China has its own challenges, and there is slowing economy. Their debt situation is worse than the US, not talked about in the this thing in the press. And I believe that India will remain the mainstay of any portfolio allocation of the global investors, and it will only increase by the day because we are the only oasis in the desert of growth.
Okay, understood that as well. But what is really, how are you looking at the, recent fall in the PSU banking space? I wanted to ask you that. We've been seeing we had witnessed a rosy period for the PSU banks, but they have been constantly coming under the profit booking pressure as well. Would you see there is something more apart from profit booking here? Or at these levels also, do you still believe PSU banks are a good buy?
Actually, their valuations are mouth-watering, dividend yields are attractive, and they've got a second lease of life which they have been building on very well. So I believe that over the next 2 to 3 years they will have a very very good run, and so investors should look to buy into dips, but you will have to have patience with these stocks.
Got that. Well, thank you so much, Vineet, for being with us on the show and discussing all these various stocks and sectors and the way investors should be approaching all these news developments, in particular stocks too. And let's look at the markets right now. They're picking up slight pace, if I may say. 61,837, 76 points higher for the Sensex, but not a considerable up move right there. Still looks sticky. 18,287 for the Nifty right now. That's up about 21 odd points. But last 2.5 hours remaining, will the markets really take some support from some of the sectors or the stocks? Will things start to improve towards the closing of the day? Is something that we will keep an eye out on, and we will continue to keep you posted with all the market developments as well. And you can continue to track that by being with us on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe it. Also continue to engage with us on our other social media platforms as well. Until then, thanks for tuning in.